let's speak now to Dr. Mike Jones, Executive Director at Migration Watch UK. Now, my feeling is about this, Mike. I mean, the government are just so desperate to see an aeroplane go to Kigali with some migrants on it that they would do anything to get us to that point. Even if you do find, you know, a small cohort of people who've come here illegally, take the government up on their offer, it's not going to go anyway to stopping the problem that most of the West is seeing with mass curated, organised inward migration from countries, usually with connections to pretty dodgy regimes. I mean, it's pointless, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a complete waste of time. I mean, essentially, the government haven't gotten to the root cause of the problem, which is the Human Rights Act. That makes it very difficult to deport somebody to their country of origin. And it makes it very difficult to deport somebody to a third safe country like Rwanda. And, you know, this is a slap in the face to the hard-pressed taxpayer. You know, we're going to shell out about £500 million on the Rwanda plan. Even if Rishi Sunak doesn't deport anyone, you know, we're obligated to pay around 370 million over the next 5 years. So this is just an exercise in public relations and optics. They want, you know, a photo of bums on seats on a flight to Kigali before the next general election, but it's not going to solve the problem.
Yeah, I mean, this is what this is all about. There's a certain desperation, you know, among the cabinet ministers, among, you know, Rishi Sunak and, you know, the foreign secretary and so on and so forth. There's a desperation to just show the public, hey ho, we got someone on a plane and they've gone to East Africa. Don't the government realise that we're going to go, yeah, but you gave them 3,000 quid.
Yeah, you got one on, got one on a plane and 500 more have come over.
I mean, I know we're just sort of talking about a complete shambles here, but doesn't Rishi realise that we're all going to work out exactly why those people are on that plane? Because we, the British taxpayers, were forced to give them £3,000 each. This could cause more damage than good for the government, could it not?
Yeah, I mean, up until the last few years, the Conservatives have been very good at managing the media and dominating the news cycle. And they've tried to do something similar with illegal migration. For example, the BB Stockholm. They thought that would, you know, galvanise public opinion in their favour.
How did that work out?
You know, well, it hasn't worked out very well, has it? And, you know, as you say, Kevin, something very similar could transpire with this. You know, ultimately, what we need is a deterrent. We need to detain and deport people. What we don't need is a bribe where the uptake will be very small.
It seems to me that whatever this government tries to do on this topic, there's a Gordian knot of international and domestic legislation and an army of immigration lawyers waiting to thwart them at every single move. And what I don't understand is constant reports saying that there are some pretty sinister connections of the people trafficking organisations, Wagner mercenaries, Russia, Taliban, the list goes on and on. This is largely being used as an act of grey zone warfare by hostile regimes against the West. And yet we turn around and say, well, we can't turn the boats around because that would be breaking international law. Is it breaking international law when you can point at something and say, this is threatening national security?
That's an interesting question. I mean, obviously you can't let people drown in the Channel because that is breaking international law. And there's a, you know, a huge diplomatic issue here. If we just, you know, put these people on boats and sent them back to France, the French could actually blockade us. That would lead to a diplomatic crisis. However, the European Court of Human Rights is a huge, huge problem. However, the European Convention of Human Rights isn't just something imposed on us by, you know, foreign judges in a faraway place. It's actually part of domestic legislation. It's part of the Human Rights Act, and it enshrines what they call the principle of non-refoulement, which makes it very difficult for the Home Office to deport people to their country of origin or to a third safe country like Rwanda. I mean, the Home Office has just declared Turkey an unsafe country. You know, it's an ally of the UK, it's a member of NATO. They send judges to the European Court of Human Rights, yet it's deemed unsafe. You know, this is like something out of a Franz Kafka novel. It's absurd.
Exactly right. And I wonder where we'll be whenever the election is. Shall we say it's the end of October? I think the picture will still look pretty bleak for Mr. Sunak. Great to talk to you, Mike. Thank you very much. Dr. Mike Jones there, Executive Director of Migration Watch UK, a very fine organisation.